I'm still learning. If I'm still learning, someone coming out of school, that's why I say the first year you better slow it down. Oh, come on, John, let's go and speed up. Follow me, keep up with me. So the first one is a forward control stop. Now, great for buses because you got the front mirrors and you can see it. Do I like it? I'm not too sure if I even like that.
Let me ask you the part B of that question. So based on some of these changes that have been made recently to CDL testing, the pre-trip, the lack of doing alley dock, not doing parallel parking, do you think that these recent changes will produce less qualified drivers? Do you
CDL
understand what I mean by
schools,
that?
I understand. I think I do. CDL schools, most of them are just there to get you a CDL
Mm-hmm.
license.
Mm-hmm.
In the past, or even now, with the changes we made now, they are not. In fact, is even probably, in my opinion, it's not good. They are not good. They're not even, no matter what, they're not really qualified to go out. If a student thinks, "Oh, I got my license, I'm qualified," no, you're not.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I
I've been
get
doing
that.
this almost. I've been driving for close to 50 years now. So I'll think about saying, well, I got to get my 50 years in. So I need a year and a half to whatever get 50 years of driving in. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm still learning. If I'm still learning, someone coming out of school, that's why I say the first year you better slow it down. Oh, come on, John, let's go and speed up. Follow me, keep up with me. You're not in the same situation as he is.
Mm-hmm.
But this new program, in my opinion, since I'm a very opinionated person, it might make things even worse for CDL students and new drivers coming out on the road. Make it even
That
worse.
that's the question that I'm asking right there.
It makes
Please
it
continue.
Yeah, it makes it even worse. They tell me, when I looked at, there's a website if you want to see the video in 2021 or 20 when he talked about it. Well, we talked about safety. We looked at safety. I think it's looking at money. You're looking at the footprint for schools to develop schools to get these guys licensed and all that stuff. The footprint was huge. You had to have a straight line, an offset, a parallel, maybe an offset to the right, offset to the left. You had to do a parallel to the right or the left. You had to do an alley dock, big footprint, big area. And a lot of schools didn't have the room, and even the NVA or DMV did not have the room for this big footprint. So you couldn't go to certain DMVs or if you do not doing third party testing. So they made the footprint smaller. Everything's down into basically one lane. Everything is called a circuit test. The modernization pre-trip range skill is a modernization and it's a smaller footprint. So the first one is a forward control stop. Now, great for buses because you got the front mirrors and you can see it. Do I like it? I'm not too sure if I even like that because the way I train someone to stop, I think I had a student come and says, "Well, I was told as soon as I can't see the tires in the front of the car in front of me to stop." And I'm okay. I said, "No, you're not." I said, "How long is the trailer in the back?" 53. I don't want that rule of thumb. When the tire disappears in the car in front, stop. And all I teach is make sure there's some at least a car or two lengths in front of you and stop. Know the distance to stop. So this forward control stop is a 3 foot box, and
Mm-hmm.
half the students, depending on type of tractor they have, it is hard to judge. Are you in the 3 foot box? That's hard to do it. But if you're in a third party testing site, you should be able to nail it. You should be able to nail that because after your 3 foot box, there's hash marks. So all you have to do is this when you practice at every test site, you figure out put the bumper in the 3 foot box and see what hash mark you are by your left arm or the mirror, and find a reference point. And you
Uh-huh.
always be in the box. All you
Yep.
need is an inch of that bumper in the box. You don't need the whole
Yep.
bumper as long as something's in a box. So I was testing students one weekend. I did 6 tests and only one student got it in the box. That's a failure on the instructors teaching. They didn't take the
Mm-hmm.
time to teach them how to do it. If I'm going to NVA or DMV, taking my test there, get there early. Your instructor should get the truck there, put it in a box, and then figure out where the mirror should be on the hash
Yep.
mark. You
Yep.
figure it out. Measure it, walk it off. I have one video where I'm walking off the distance, showing how to get the back bumper in the box or the front bumper in the front box. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go in and do your test and go foot to foot to foot. No, your normal walking pace. Just do it nonchalantly. Just go and measure it off. So you know from the front bumper to the mirror how many steps it is. Then walk it off on the site. And then you'll know exactly where to put that front bumper. You've got to nail that because that's half your points. If you mess up on that forward control stop, half the points are gone. You don't have many points to work with. Same as on the pre-trip. So even though you say the range skills might be easier, the point system is smaller.
That's interesting.
So you mess up on the forward control stop or the off tracking, pretty much you only have that maybe 4 or 5 points left for your test. So you're halfway there to failure. So the 5 students who didn't get it in, which really shocked me. I said, my goodness, this is a third party testing site. There's no reason for that. Nerves, yes, nerves. You all of a sudden, once you hit your brake and the vehicle stops, that's it. You cannot stop and go.
Yep.
If you stop, that's it.
Yep.
So nerves might have played an issue with it. But I give credit, only one student failed. They lost the points. They moved up this nice straight line back, and then they do the offset tracking, which is not hard to do. Is it? If you use your mirrors, you're going to get the tire in between, the rear tire in between the cone and the 4-foot hash mark. And then they all nailed the reverse offset. They all nailed it. They put it in, and we were on the road. They did great. So I said, but I was kind of a little confused. I said, how in the world? This is your home field advantage. You're not going to a foreign NVA, DMV that you've never been to do this test. You should know where to put it. But I give them credit. The students came in and did great reverse offsets, which is not hard. It's much easier than the old parallel park. The parallel park was from bumper, the rear bumper of the trailer to the front bumper of the tractor plus 15 feet.
Mm-hmm.
You didn't have much, no matter what size tractor trailer you came in did the test with. It didn't make any difference. It was always 15 feet more. In this test, it's much more than 15 feet. So you've got a lot of room to work with to put it in the alley and to pass that test. You can do a decent pull up to fix any problem you can fix. It's not that hard to do the test. But if you not trained properly, there's where the problem would come in, or if you had issues on back. And I had to make sure all my students were proficient in all skills. And we can talk about that later on. This is a big gripe with me about the FMCSA and these schools not make sure all their students are proficient in all their skills.
Mm-hmm.
If they're proficient, and that means I feel that they are at least 90 to 95% ready to take that test. Doesn't mean they're going to pass, but they are proficient. And we can talk about that if you want to, but that's a big gripe with me. And when I see students can't even back up,
That's a problem.
do a straight line back up, and
That's
they
a
are
problem.
scheduled for a test. There's something wrong with the FMCSA rules and the school, and we can talk about that later if you want to. But
Yeah, I'm hearing you use a term now that I'm not familiar with. Students are getting tested on off tracking in school now. I heard you say that a second ago, I believe.
we say offset.
Off tracking? I thought I heard you say that a second ago.
Forward off tracking. That is like turning moving around a curve. So
Okay.
you in the alley, you did your straight line. You're already in the back of the test skill area. Now you're going to move to the left. It's forward offset tracking. So basically, is your ability to use your mirrors and make sure when you pull out of the alley, you're going to pull out of the alley. There's 2 cones where the hash marks are. You are pulling to the left, like you're pulling out on a city street.
Mm-hmm.
And your job is to make sure when you off track that the back most tire on the trailer is
Clear
between
that
the cone
cone.
and a hash mark. It's about 3 feet or 4 feet wide. And if the tire is on the outside of the hash mark, you have lost a considerable amount of points.
Got you.
If you're ready to hit the cone, you try to cut the trailer in too tight and you're ready to hit the
Uh-huh.
cone. The examiner will blow his whistle, you will stop.
Automatic fail.
No, 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 there's no automatic. Man, you could run over a cone and not fail.
Okay.
So the examiner is going to make you stop. He'll blow his whistle, yell stop. You will have to back up. Those will be on the off track, and there'll be points on that.
Okay.
Anywhere else, there'll be no free backups. So you'll have to back up, reposition, then pull out. So already you lost a point, then you got another pull up there. So
So that test allows them, you're being tested now. You need to know where your trailer is. And they're testing
okay,
you on that. You need to know where your trailer
you got
is.
to
And they're
know.
testing you on that now,
Yeah,
basically.
your mirrors better be adjusted properly as you pull out. If you pull out not too wide, but if you pull out wide enough, if your right mirror, you look in your right mirror, you should be able to see your trailer tire. And as you
Mm-hmm.
move up, you should be able to see the hash mark and the cone. And you
Mm-hmm.
start moving towards that cone and the hash mark and start straightening yourself out. You got to do that test. You got to finish up straight and parallel to the outer boundaries. So if you're not, let's say you pull out and the truck's facing to the left on an angle, we got a problem. I'm going to have you back it up and then pull up straight. You just
Mm-hmm.
lost points there. When you come into the test, you should know how to get the trailer very straight. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight, but no advantage. Advantage is you already slanted, like you get your offset back. You already have an advantage. You're already facing and want to slant. That's a no-no. Your tractor needs to be parallel to the outside line, basically straight, parallel to the
Uh-huh.
boundary lines, and then you'll back it up. So, not a hard test, but I have never, maybe, I forget, all the students I tested, I might have had one who lost points on that. It's
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
not hard. They all seem to pick that up pretty quickly with good instructions. That has not been an issue. The four offset control stop, yes. And that should not be an issue at a third party testing site. Maybe at the DMV MVA, but not at a third party test. Your students need to nail it constantly. And that's what I
Got
try.
it.
Maybe I'm a hard nosed instructor, but I make sure my students are nailing it 10 times in a row. If
Yeah.
I do any test, I say, you're not ready until you nail it 5 consecutive times. I like to say
Makes
10
sense.
times.
Makes
Five
sense.
times. Then I know you have it.
Makes
Then you're
sense.
ready to roll.
Makes total sense.